Hello everyone. In this intro to drawing tutorial, we are going to be creating a set of 3D forms on a 2D surface by employing a value scale. A lot of beginning artists have a tendency to outline things, and I want to break that habit early on. So what we're going to be doing is, instead of creating outlines of objects, we're going to be creating the objects by varying the values. You will need a piece of black paper, some white charcoal, a blending tool or a blending stump, a charcoal pencil to get some of these more crisp lines here in the shadows, and a kneaded eraser, so one of these erasers here. Alright, let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of white charcoal or white chalk, and we are going to create a nice, even, consistent layer of chalk over the black paper here. Go ahead, use the side of the chalk, and just start to lay in a nice layer of even, consistent chalk. It's best to do this on a smooth and flat surface so you don't get any bumps from your desk or your table. We have a nice even layer of chalk on our page now. The next step is to first define these forms. I'm going to start on the left side with the cone, and I'm just going to lay in this left edge by using the side of my chalk here. We are not outlining. Notice how we're not drawing a hard outline around this cone. We're trying to break that habit, or we're trying to prevent that habit rather, if you're just starting off drawing here. So I laid in that left edge with the white chalk. Now I'm going to use my blending tool, and I'm going to almost use this as a drawing tool. I'm going to use this to define that cone shape a little bit better. What we're going to do is we're going to use an eraser. This is a kneaded eraser. You can also use a pink eraser like this to pull away the chalk to reveal more of the black paper and to get these darker values here. Because right now this is looking very flat, so we are going to pull away some of that black, some of the white chalk to reveal the black paper. Okay, so go ahead. Use your kneaded eraser and start to pull away some of that chalk. You can also use the eraser to smudge, so feel free to kind of smudge and blend in your values with the eraser itself. If your drawing is looking a little bit flat, if these forms are looking flat, it's most likely because you do not have enough contrast between your values. So you're going to want to really push the contrast between the values by either adding more chalk in the lighter areas or pulling away the chalk with the eraser for the darker areas. An important part of this drawing is creating these cast shadows. We're going to be using the eraser to pull away the chalk to get those shadows in there. We're going to be drawing the sphere next, so I'm going to be standing up and using more of my shoulder. Because if I'm going to draw this sphere sitting down like this, I'll have a tendency to use more of my wrist, and that's really not the best technique for drawing something round. Your best bet is to stand up and use your shoulder so you can kind of swirl around and create that shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of move my shoulder in a circular fashion to create this sphere. Alright, now we have our sphere defined here on the page. Okay, next up we have the cube. What I'm going to do is I'm going to define the left edge of the cube with the side of my chalk here, and I'm just going to create a vertical line that overlaps this sphere. So I'm going to use the side of my chalk. I'm just going to create a vertical line just like that. That's going to be the left edge of my cube here. This is going to be probably one of the easier ones to create because of the solid difference between the values here. Here, this is obviously going to be a 1. You're going to have a 2, and maybe this is a 2.5 to a 3. So 1, 2, 2.5 to a 3. And then down here in the shadow, the cast shadow will be a 4. We can get these hard, crisp edges in by using a charcoal pencil. I like to do that at the very end. It's sort of the finishing touch. Alright, so there's that left edge. Defined it by going vertical here with my chalk, using the side of the chalk. Now I'm also going to use the side of the chalk to create this angle. It swoops down here. And last we have the cylinder. I'm going to approach drawing the cylinder just like the cone by first defining the left edge with the side of the chalk. Continuing to use the side of the chalk here for the remainder of the mapping of this cylinder. Now I want to use my eraser to pull away some of that chalk to form the right edge of the cylinder. Oops. I'm going to use the blending tool here. So one of the last things I'm going to do is use my charcoal pencil to just pencil in some of these lines and maybe some of these areas of darker value. I hope you guys all enjoyed doing this lesson with me. If you did, please leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.